Hello there, wine lovers. My name is Breana from Divine Wine Tours, and I'm going to be bringing you some wine blogging, considering that we usually do wine tours and we're not able to run them at the moment due to the current situation. So I'll be bringing some wines to you guys at home. Hopefully you pick up some things from what I give you, and perhaps even try some of the wines that I'm talking about. I'm going to try and focus on wines that are in the Swan Valley and Bickley Valley, as that's what the places that we visit in WA, as well as some other WA wines, but I'm very passionate about the Swan Valley and the Bickley Valley, so I'll try my best to bring predominantly those sorts of wines to you. So today I have a beautiful Chardonnay from Brookside Vineyard. So Brookside is in the Bickley Valley. It's one of my favourite little vineyards. It's the smallest vineyard in the Bickley Valley. They only grow 2 varieties on the property, and then they do source some grapes from other regions or other areas in the Bickley Valley. But this one is their Chardonnay, and they do actually have the Chardonnay on their property there. So it's their Reserve Chardonnay beside the brook, Reserve Chardonnay 2016 vintage. It's empty because I drank it over the weekend, so I have just had this one. But yeah, absolutely in love with Chardonnays. It's my favourite white variety, huge fan, and most of my white collection is Chardonnay wine. So I did pull this one out as it was the oldest one I had. I usually do like to age them for a bit longer, but 2016, oldest one I had. So I thought I'd give this a whirl. So this particular wine, it has been, they hand harvest and they fermented the wine for 9 months in French oak hogshead barrels. So hogshead are slightly larger than your normal size barrels, so they're about 250 mils. So although there's a really nice oak influence on the wine, there's less oak to wine ratio, so it's not as intense. And then after that 9 months of fermenting in the oak barrels, they did 2 months of batonnage. So batonnage is a French word, and basically it's stirring the lees, like the settled lees, back through the wine. Like they carefully stir that through. So if you don't know what lees are the dead yeast cells and bits of grape seeds and solids which like remain in the they pretty much remain and settle in the wine after the fermentation process. And if they're left untouched, if they're just left there, they can actually run the risk of like a smelly hydrogen sulfide forming, and no one's got time for that. So that's how they did this one. So on the nose, this one had a lovely perfumed peach and lemon rind, bit of pear, and you had those toasty vanilla characters coming through. Yum. And then on the palate, from that little bit of cellaring, that harsh acidity mellowed out a little bit. It's a lovely complexity to this wine. You get those juicy fruit characters of peach and apple, and there's enough acidity to balance out the richness of like the fruit and the oak. You get that desirable creamy and buttery hit coming through whilst it's in your mouth, and then lingering on the finish as well. And then also you get a touch of minerality with this one, and so along with like the lemon and the acidity with it, that does have a really nice balance. So it's not over the top with the like the cream and the buttery sort of notes on a Chardonnay, which I do actually prefer. Like I really do like that. But for those that aren't too keen on the heavier, like buttery sort of style Chardonnays, then something like this would be your cup of tea, really, or glass of wine. So yeah, I personally probably should have cellared this one for a bit longer, because like I mentioned, I do like my Chardonnays to be a touch smoother and a little bit more buttery and nuttier. But yeah, it was still drinking really nicely, and it's you can tell it's definitely got that potential to age for up to 10 years. So I could have definitely left that one longer. But like I said, I really enjoyed this one. So this sort of wine, you would pair it with your creamy pasta and rice dishes, like, your risotto and everything. And also, if you're going to pair it with meat or seafood, you want your meatier fishes, and also shellfish goes really well with shellfish. and anything with like butter, like nothing heavy on the spices and flattened seasonings. You can pair it with simple chicken and pork dishes, and once again, nothing too aggressive with the spices and seasoning. And if you're going to pair it with the cheese, go for a nice triple cream brie. Goes down a treat. So that is the wine for today. Once again, Brookside Vineyard, beside the brook. Reserve Chardonnay 2016. I highly recommend this winery. They do lovely Cabernet as well. So if you're a big fan of Cabernet, check that one out. I do like all the wines there actually. Like I said, they only do like a small variety of wines, but what they do is incredible. But I'm always a big fan of the Chardonnay there. So I hope you guys picked up something from that today. Please check out Brookside. When we're back up and running, hit us up and we can take you on a tour out to the Bickley and we can visit Brookside. They do have a beautiful kitchen there, the vineyard kitchen. The food is just exquisite. But thanks guys, until next time.